Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good morning, my name is Thomas Adams, and here are your sports headlines to 11:30. The Vancouver Canucks take down the Nashville Predators in overtime yesterday, winning with a score of 5-4. In Captain Quinn Hughes' first game coming back from injury, forwards Evander Kane and Brock Besser came in clutch. Kane had one of his best performances with the team so far, scoring 2 goals and helping the team take the victory in overtime. Kane sees the potential in the team and knows the improvements they need to make.
Yeah, I thought we were really good in the first 2 periods. I thought we did a good job of taking it to them and spending some night on our own. I think we got to get better at learning how to play with the lead and not changing our game plan and retreating. I think we can do a bit better job with that aspect and being able to close out games a little bit better. But, we're not going to complain about going 2-1 on a road trip.
They will be coming back to Vancouver to face the Chicago Blackhawks tomorrow night. The Vancouver Rise will be playing their first ever playoff match tonight against the Ottawa Rapid at Swangard Stadium tonight. In their inaugural season, the women's football club took the Northern Super League by storm and played their way to a third-place finish in the league. Vancouver Rise midfielder Nikki Stanton spoke about the support they've received from the city in their first ever season.
Unbelievable. Vancouver has shown up so huge for us. Our first game and BC Place was probably one of the highlights of my career. There was like over 14,000 people, and then every game at Swangard, the fans are amazing. Like, our atmosphere is so electric. They have showed up so big, and I consider myself so lucky to get to play in front of them every single game.
The two teams will be looking to bring their A game as they split the season matchups with 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw facing each other. Scotty Barnes and the Toronto Raptors will be taking on Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks tonight in Toronto. The Raptors are riding high after their victory against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They will have their work cut out for them facing the third-place Bucks in the same division where Toronto currently sits 8th. The NFL trade line continues on being time for the NFL teams to make decisions about their team season and their future. The Chicago Bears have traded defensive end Joe Yinka. The Bears looking to make their first playoff run since drafting number 1 overall pick Caleb Williams. The Seattle Seahawks have also acquired wide receiver Rashid Shaheed from the New Orleans Saints to add to their receiving depth. The Jacksonville Jaguars are trading for Las Vegas's wide receiver Jacoby Myers, and the Dallas Cowboys have acquired linebacker Logan Wilson to bolster the NFL's second worst defense. The return that the New York Jets will receive for cornerback Sauce Gardner, who they sent to the Indianapolis Colts, is a package that includes wide receiver Adonai Mitchell and 2 first-round draft picks. A good haul for the New York Jets that's been a team that hasn't been competitive in years. More trades are looking to come throughout the day. On to CFL, the BC Lions are looking to beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders and play for a big crowd at the Grey Cup. The CFL and Winnipeg Blue Bombers announced Tuesday the game in which will be played November 16th at Princess Auto Stadium has been sold out. The release also said most of the festival events leading up to the game, including CFL awards, are at capacity. A few tickets to the Brad Paisley Truck Still Works World Tour show November 14th are available. The CFL has enjoyed success at the gate in Winnipeg this year, with the Blue Bombers selling out every home game in 2025. However, the Bombers won't be part of the action on the field. Their streak of 5 straight Grey Cups appearances ended with a 42-33 loss in Montreal last week's East Division semifinal. The participants in the 2011 Grey Cup will be decided Saturday when Hamilton hosts Montreal in the East, and of course Saskatchewan welcomes BC in the Western Final. In baseball, Blue Jays manager John Schneider has been named a finalist for Major League Baseball's Manager of the Year award, along with Mariners manager Dan Wilson and Cleveland Guardians manager Stephen Vogt. Schneider, who was drafted by the Blue Jays and played his way up to AAA as a catcher, has now climbed the ranks as a manager and become one of Toronto's most valuable assets. Schneider is praised for his unique style of play this season, mixing moneyball tactics with the unique sense of the game, making strategic decisions when it counts. If he wins, he will join Ty France as one of the only other Blue Jays so far to receive an award this season, with France getting his Gold Glove award. Thank you so much for tuning into your news sports headlines at 11:30. I'm Thomas Adams, and have a great rest of your day.
This is 1680 The Crow, and you're listening to our feature presentation.
Have you ever been overwhelmed by the amount of fall stuff there are in stores as soon as August starts?
I have. It's become overwhelmed with stuff in the stores, on the shelves, all fall products, including fall seasonal drinks, candles, blankets, you name it, and I want it.
Welcome to Falling for Consumerism, pumpkin spice and everything not so nice. I'm Jeannie Lynn.
And I'm Isabella Vertone, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about fall products and why people buy them and where they end up going.
We're in a winter's location here in Metro Vancouver, and people are here shopping on a Tuesday afternoon. Fall is definitely on the shelves.
Yeah, there are so many candles, blankets, and pumpkin-flavored food that is in everyone's baskets, and you can see everyone buying these seasonal products.
Cashier number 1, please.
To understand this obsession with fall shopping, we talked to Carla Dreyer, interior designer expert, about what it is about the season that makes it so popular.
So I think almost people moving towards that, it's called the hygge sort of movement.
I actually haven't heard of that.
Yeah, like I think it's in Denmark or somewhere there. Like they call it hygge, where basically it's like everything is like about warmth. So it's like, it gets dark there, 3:00 or something, how it does here for a bit. And so it's about, how do we feel good during that time? And so I think there is something about like lighting the candles and having the nice throw and having the, pumpkin spice and all those things to make you feel warm and cozy and good. So I think it's in a way leaning towards the season and people try to make themselves kind of get through it in some ways, especially for Vancouver, I'm saying, because I know, we get so much rain and everything, right?
Right. I think that's a really good take. I actually haven't heard that. And I think you're right, trying to use like that comfort aspect and, with all the marketing and social media, and people think, I maybe I need this or maybe I need that.
Yes.
And
Isabella, you're also a fan of this seasonal fall shopping, right?
I am. I can't get enough of all the products that they release each year. I look forward to buying all of them too. I am definitely the target for all of their ads, and I know it's bad and probably a waste of money, but I just can't help but want to buy their knickknacks in the stores. I feel like it's so intriguing, don't you?
Yeah, I definitely think there's a psychological element to it, that buying this type of stuff and staying on top of the latest trends, it's like really exciting.
What do you think makes it so exciting?
A lot of it, I think it's because of like huge marketing campaigns that companies will use to sell the fall aesthetic, because it's seasonal, and so you feel like you have to buy it now because they won't have it for much longer.
As soon as August rolls around, I feel like it's very in your face. It's on everybody's feeds, it's in all the shelves, and they really make it known that the fall season's starting.
Yeah, there's also something that's different about the marketing phenomenon that is fall. For Christmas, we celebrate family, and Valentine's Day, we celebrate love, but fall, there's not really a specific theme to it, but still it's become this huge buying season that's almost rivaling Christmas.
I think it's like a really nostalgic season, and people like want to get cozy, want to have, nights in because it's cold. I would say it brings back kind of like nostalgia, if anything. Wendy Fan is a digital marketer who was formerly employed at Tim Hortons. She talks to us about her experience with the pumpkin spice latte craze.
We previously, when I was in that role, we would plan for our fall season launch almost a year in advance. Like those timelines are already in our calendar for planning because you have to make commitments to suppliers, to vendors to purchase those products and have it in your stores in time for the launch of fall. And oftentimes there's a forecast that's given, a forecast that we use that's based on like previous year selling trends. Not only pumpkin spice latte, now a lot of brands are connecting like chai latte to the fall season as well. And chai latte, I feel like it's the same idea, like the spice of it, the color of the whole aroma of it really lines up with the fall season.
Professor Amy Hansler teaches consumer culture at UBC. She talks about how consumer behavior and social media can give people a sense of community.
One of the things we do talk about in the class is how consumption is often for many people an expression of identity. It's a form of, it can be part of what ties you to community. But the story of advertising over like the last 100 years is basically advertisers come up with advertising techniques and consumers get skeptical and don't buy it anymore. And influencers are just the latest step of like trying to make advertising look as unadvertising-like as possible. And the students tell me they do trust these people, and research on this suggests that that's why. People like the personal touch. They like the people who try out products and tell you how to use them. Like that really makes people more willing to buy stuff. And then they might feel part of an online community of some sort, even if it's not especially community-like. It feels like an identity group.
Isabella, have you seen those boo basket trends on TikTok?
I've seen them all over TikTok, all over Instagram. People buying these baskets and filling them with fall products, but they end up being like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It's crazy.
I know, and people put like Uggs in there too.
Uggs, candles, like items that are gifts in themselves will go in these boo baskets. But I do really love this season. I love the leaves on the ground, walking with a hot drink in hand. It's great.
Yeah, we should like go for a walk outside.
Yeah, we should. Let's put our jackets on.
Wow, it's really nice out today.
It really is.
Okay, so we were talking earlier about how expensive fall shopping can be, but people are still like willing to pay for that. Why do you think that is?
It gives people a little bit of a serotonin boost. I know even when I'm buying something, it makes me happy, even though I might not need it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of online criticisms lately though, especially like online influencers who are spending these like exorbitant amounts of money on new seasonal things every single year. And they're like kind of influencing people to buy new things to make people feel like they need to. So like people are asking, where does all this new stuff go after the season ends? Like, what are the impacts it's putting on our landfills? While overconsumption has been an increasing concern, there are many advocacy groups that are trying to combat the issue, such as the Buy Nothing Project. Mary Bennett is an admin of the Kitsilano No Buy group on Facebook.
Myself, I was about to. I've just started an exercise program where I need a lock, and I was about to go off to London Drugs to buy one, and I thought, well, who knows? There might be somebody in my Buy Nothing group who has a little lock they haven't been using. So I post it there first of all, and I do it. For me, I do it partly to save that one small item from the landfill, but also to model for other people. You know, this is what you can do.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking more about my consumption habits.
Mary also said that there are many other ways to consume, like even going to thrift stores and buying secondhand that could put less strain on our landfill.
Yeah, and I think about all the retailers who have to throw out so much excess inventory every single year because they just produce way too much.
I think if there's less public demand for these items, that if we don't buy into it, companies will be kind of forced to like lower these mass production of seasonal products. Okay, so we had a long discussion today about our consumer habits. What are your key takeaways?
I feel like after listening to all our guests, I thought that I probably spend too much on these seasonal goods and they don't really end up being reused. I find I put a lot of them away in storage, and after the initial fun of buying that item, it really is kind of pointless. And I think if these things do end up in the trash at some point, it's really not worth it in the long run.
Yeah, I think it's really complicated to talk about consumer habits. I think also like corporations and businesses should be held more responsible for unsustainable practices. Like, we're all human beings on this planet. We all have to consume in order to live. But I do also think that what you said, we could all really benefit by thinking more about our habits. Like, do we really need all this seasonal and holiday home goods every single year? And also, do we really want to buy it, or do we only want to buy it because of social media and influencers? There are a lot of other ways we can consume, like going to thrift stores or just going on Facebook and looking at no-buy groups, seeing what's there. So I think that just like awareness as well is important.
Thanks for listening. My name is Isabella Vertone.
And I'm Jeannie Lin.
And that was Falling for Consumerism.